Hi, I'm Martin Briggs, and I think you are going to be intrigued by our video today. It's all about what some call the good book. Unfortunately for some, this good old book, also known as the Holy Bible, has not been so good in their experience. For centuries, it has been used to control, heap shame on, ostracize, and rule over too many people in our world. Now, there is a movement that says the Christian Bible should be the basis for all laws, not just in our country, but all over the world. Unfortunately, to aspire for world dominance under the guise of biblical standards has turned out to be quite dispassionate and oppressive in the designing of legislation and the imposition of laws. The whole matter is particularly frightening, given that proponents of biblical rule make judgments of what is biblical, and in so doing claim to speak for God in their political proclamations. In this process, they seem to ignore the fact that they themselves don't always agree on how what they consider to be the Word of God should be interpreted and implemented. Fact of the matter is, when one sets out to prove their authority using the Bible, they can cite all kinds of ridiculous things with their claim of Bible proof. For example, consider the idea that joggers are evil. Proverbs says, "Evil people run when no one is chasing them." Biblically speaking, then, we surely must decide that someone who jogs is evil. Therefore, jogging is a big ol' sin. According to the Bible and the book of Mark, quoting Jesus, divorce is adultery. Anyone committing divorce is committing adultery. Therefore, this is a big ol' sin. According to the Bible, loaning money at interest is an evil deed punishable by death. Who knows how many church buildings have been built with money loaned at interest? Biblically, dealing with those who charge interest is clearly participating in sin. In some Bible-based government, surely we all know that eating pork, including bacon, and eating shrimp, crab, or lobster is unclean and unholy unto the Lord, therefore sin. If we are going to run a government by the Bible, it means that we have to abide by the biblical declaration of the year of Jubilee. Every 50th year, property had to be returned to its original owner. All debts were wiped out. Nothing was planted nor harvested in the fields. You had to allow poor relatives to live with you. All of this according to Leviticus 25. If we ran a biblical government and celebrated a year of Jubilee, we can suppose all lands would be returned to indigenous peoples. Proverbs says we would be obligated to beat our children pretty regularly. Oh, and any form of tattoos, even if it's a Bible verse, would be prohibited. It's a sin. Yes, and then there is this strange one. Deuteronomy 25 verse 11 says, "If two men are fighting, and the wife of one of them comes to rescue her husband from his assailant, and she reaches out and seizes him by his private parts, you should cut off her hand. Show her no pity," says the verse. Of course, hair length also can be sinful, whether short or long, depending on which gender you are. One can suggest the good old book supports slavery, slaying unbelievers, mutilating yourself, and lots of other crazy and outlandish things. One could also more righteously and rightfully say that the Bible supports compassion, empathy, humanity, and it proclaimed that the greatest of all attributes we as humans hold is love. The next time someone tries to weaponize the Bible with you, remember simply this: that which is contrary to love is contrary to Christian teaching. Weaponizing what is intended to be a reference for humanity's learning from history is contrary to love.